Hello and welcome to this session on an introduction to the concept of curriculum. The process of every concept and project requires proper framework and planning. This is applicable to education as well. It is important to plan the different steps, understand the goals that we need to achieve and to understand different resources that is required. A similar set of constraints when applied to the field of education gives birth to what is known as a curriculum. It is one of the important aspects of an educational system. Curriculum is usually understood to mean a group of subjects prescribed for study in a particular course, but it is not confined to this narrow concept. The word curriculum should be considered as a broad based term used to denote the overall course content of education, that is the totality of experiences a pupil is exposed to within the boundaries of the school and outside. The word curriculum originated in ancient Rome and meant chariot race course. Curriculum derived from the Latin word curre, literally meant runway or path laid to reach the goal. In this sense, curriculum is the path through which the student has to go forward in order to reach the goal envisaged by education. Curriculum is a set of courses including their content offered at a school or university. Curriculum is the sum total of all learning experiences that are provided under the educational institution through its different programs, curricular as well as co-curricular. It is an organized plan of course lines along with the objectives and learning experiences to be used for the achievement of the desired outcomes. Curriculum thus embraces all the activities that children experience as learners in the school and which other organize for the purpose. It is an attempt to communicate the essential principles and features of an educational proposal. According to the Secondary Education Commission of 1953, curriculum is not only the academic subjects traditionally taught in the school, but it includes the totality of all experiences that a pupil receive through the manifold activities that go in the school, in the classroom, library, workshop, playground and in the numerous informal contacts between teachers and pupils. Curriculum is the crux of the whole educational process, without which we cannot conceive any educational endeavor. It is different from syllabus. A syllabus is only verbal, book oriented and theoretical. Syllabus is much more specific and forms the basis for writing textbooks, preparing teacher's guide and planning what is to be learned. But the scope of curriculum is much broader and deeper, for it comprehends every aspect of an educand's life and seeks to satisfy his requirements. It includes various kinds of co-curricular and extracurricular activities as well as various aspects of educational environment. So, the two terms should not be treated as synonyms. Curriculum, like the constitution of a country, reflects the ethos of a nation and its chief concerns and commitments. It prepares individuals of a country to be useful and productive citizens. Therefore, it is important to take into consideration the knowledge of how learning occurs and what factors facilitate learning process that go to constitute curriculum development. A curriculum is more than putting together a set of academically required subjects. It must consider all aspects of the student life, the learning needs of students, the time available for the sessions and the teacher's idea, capability and workload. The curriculum identifies the learning outcomes, standards and core competencies that students must demonstrate before advancing to the next level. A curriculum must reflect the needs of the society and those of the individuals to be educated. If education has to meet the needs of modern conditions, necessary changes must be introduced in the curriculum. The emerging objectives, the philosophy of education, culture, learning theories and knowledge warrant change in curriculum. No matter what we do, nothing is possible without student involvement. Therefore, any of the descriptions of curriculum must include a student centered approach that is responsive to the students' needs. Curriculum is intimately related with all aspects of education. While education is a development process, curriculum is the input that provides within the direction to that process. While education is a learning process, curriculum helps to create certain situations for learning. So, curriculum is the plan for guiding the educative process. This plan consists of various components which are the following: the objectives, the content, teaching learning strategies and evaluation. Aims and objectives of curriculum. Curriculum helps in achieving the aims of education. Without a suitable curriculum, aims of education cannot be achieved. Since education is considered as an investment, the society expects some returns from it. Curriculum forms the building blocks of education at all grade levels. An effective curriculum provides teachers, students, administrators and community stakeholders with a measurable plan and structure for delivering a quality education. Teachers play a key role in developing, implementing, assessing and modifying the curriculum. An evidence-based curriculum acts as a roadmap for teachers and students to follow on the path to academic success. A school's curriculum informs teachers what skills must be taught at each grade level to ultimately prepare students for post-secondary education or a job. Curriculum is developed by cross currents of various factors and cross fertilization of multifarious ideas and philosophies. New subjects and additions or omissions of the content are necessary in the curriculum. Since curriculum is developed for the students, their abilities and requirements force the framers of the curriculum to bring certain changes. Technological changes leads to change in the values and norms of the society and thus exercises pressure for change in the curriculum. The new media, materials and methods impact curriculum development. The social and moral values of the society also affects curriculum development. Political and economic factors in the country can also influence curriculum development in the same manner. The main objectives of curriculum are the following: synthesis of subject and life. The primary aim of a curriculum in education process is to provide the educand those subjects of study which will enable them to bridge the gap between school life and life outside the school. It outlines for students a sequence of courses and tasks that must be successfully completed to master a subject and earn a diploma or degree. The curriculum ensures that each school is teaching students relevant material that helps them to cope up with situations inside and outside their schools, and it helps in monitoring the progress of students from all types of backgrounds. Students may be more motivated to study if they understand why certain subjects are taught in the curriculum. Complete development. The aim of education is to achieve the physical, mental, social, religious and spiritual development of the students. The curriculum helps in such a development. For the elementary grades, curriculum usually consists of the most fundamental material. The main goal of elementary curriculum is to produce well-rounded students capable of performing to expectations at the middle grades. The purpose of the curriculum is encapsulated in the 4 capacities that are to enable each child or young person to be a successful learner, a confident individual, a responsible citizen and an effective contributor. Development of democratic values. In all countries, curriculum should be developed in such a manner that it should aim to develop values of equality, liberty and fraternity, so that the learners may develop into citizens of a democratic society. Every school should teach the students values such as tolerance, respect for others, cooperation and feeling of brotherhood. These values should be developed not just to have a national outlook, but also aim at introducing a spirit of internationalism. Satisfaction of the learner's needs. Every student has varied needs, interests, skills, abilities, attitudes, aptitudes, etc. A curriculum should be designed in such a way as to fulfill all these multifarious needs and requirements. The curriculum should provide the learners opportunities for the development through strategies such as cooperative learning, group learning and project works, which encourage students to explore and share ideas as they identify and solve problems. Realization of values. The education process in every country aims at development of character, and what is required for this is to help the educand internalize various desirable values. Hence, one of the objectives of curriculum is to enable the educand build up a desirable value system. As part of the curriculum and co-curricular programs and the teaching and learning activities of the school, value education occupies a place. Value education is an integrated curriculum concept rather than a program. Values must be explicitly articulated and taught in all schools and should be a part of each and every curriculum followed in the country. Acquisition and strengthening of knowledge. The term education is taken to mean acquisition of relevant knowledge, and hence it may be considered as the most fundamental objective to be realized by the curriculum. By providing and integrating knowledge in the various fields, the cognitive structure should be strengthened. Creation of suitable environment. The environment should assist the learners in achieving the maximum possible development of his intellect, emotions and skills. Hence, another objective of curriculum is to create an environment suitable for such a comprehensive development. The curriculum should be child centered and child focused and should be designed to help children establish their own identity as citizens of the world. Harmony between individual and society. The success of democracy depends upon the efficiency of the individuals as revealed in one's personal life as well as social life. The individual has to contribute to the society if he is capable to do so. Hence, the curriculum must create an environment which enables the individuals to achieve one's own development and at the same time contribute to the betterment of the society. Foundations of curriculum. Every curriculum has a purpose, and if it is constructed to serve that purpose, it must be based on strong foundations. Any system of education should be based on philosophical, sociological and psychological foundations. The curriculum should also be constructed based on these foundations. According to Aravinda Chandra 1977, there are mainly 4 foundations of curriculum development. They are objectives and philosophy of education, culture and cultural patterns, phenomenon of learning and nature of knowledge. The philosophy and objectives of education have influenced the curriculum development over the years. The considerations and concerns for social reconstruction and economic development influence curriculum. For example, the elementary education is influenced by universalization, wastage, stagnation, constitutional directives, etc. The secondary education is shaped by objectives like democracy, socialism, secularism, vocational guidance, personality and leadership development, etc. The scientific understanding of culture is another foundation of curriculum development. Every society has some accepted cultural goals and values which are of immediate importance. The cultural goals shape the behavior and values of the society, and educational goals shape the curriculum development. The manners, way of life, customs and values of a society affect the curriculum. The phenomenon of learning is the third foundation of curriculum. Acknowledgement of nature of man and nature of learning is essential for curriculum development. The theories of learning show how learning takes place, what factors promote or retard learning, how motivation is related to learning, how transfer of learning occurs, what cognitive processes are the basis to learning and so on. The nature of knowledge is the fourth foundation according to Aravind Chandra. The quality and quantity of knowledge influences curriculum development and planning. The types of knowledge and the methods about acquiring this knowledge form an important factor in the development of curriculum. Due to explosion of knowledge, the task of selecting significant content in various subjects has been complicated and challenging. Besides this, there are three foundations on the basis of which curriculum are constructed. Philosophical foundations. It is philosophy that determines the ultimate aims of education. The social structure and its economic organizations are also based on philosophical foundations. Philosophy takes into account fundamental issues like man's place in the universe, the aims of nature, the aims of society, the relationship between man and society, etc. There are various philosophies like idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, realism, etc. These have different views on the fundamental issues stated above and hence have different answers. This difference is sure to be reflected in the respective educational systems and their curricula also. Sociological foundations. The sociological foundations of education demands that we should bear in mind the needs, requirements and aspirations of the community for which an educational system is designed. Sociological approach considers not only the needs of the society, but also organizes the needs of the learners. It takes into consideration the present as well as the future needs of citizens and adult members of the society. Since curriculum suggests the plan of action for any educational system, these psychological considerations will be reflected in it. Psychological foundations. Psychological considerations are the most important basis of curriculum formation. Many researches have been conducted in the modern times in the sphere of educational psychology that it has become an independent branch of study. The results of these research studies have had great impact on the shaping of curricula. This is because curricula are the means to the educand's development and hence it should be shaped in tune with the psychology of the learner. Different types of curriculum. The concept and nature of curricula varies corresponding to the nature of various educational systems. The modern concept is much different from the traditional one. As new systems of education developed in tune with the new philosophical, sociological and psychological principles and outlooks, new type of curriculum also came into existence. Some of the major curricula are traditional or subject centered curriculum. The traditional curriculum, which was in vogue for a sufficiently long time, is conceived of in terms of subjects of study. Such a curriculum is organized with the greatest emphasis on facts, principles and skills in the subjects concerned. All stress was on the cognitive attainment of the learners rather than on their personal and social development. Activity centered curriculum. The suggestions of many great people have led to the activity centered curriculum. People like Rousseau, Dewey, Gandhiji and Pestalozzi realized that education which does not influence child's conduct is useless. Comenius suggested that it is through doing that things are learned. Rousseau said that it is better to keep the child busy in the workshop instead of making him stick to his books. He said that it is in the workshop that a student's hand will work to the profit of his mind. Pestalozzi declared that verbal system of teaching suits neither the faculties of the child nor the circumstances of life. All these led to the activity centered curriculum. Activity centered curriculum is a modern approach in curriculum development. It is a reaction against the traditional curriculum which was subject centered or teacher dominated. The traditional curriculum was narrowly conceived, bookish and mechanical, heavy and overloaded, stuffed too much with exam oriented techniques. In an activity centered curriculum, the subject matter is translated in terms of activities and knowledge is gained as an outgrowth and product of those activities. Activity is used as the medium for imparting knowledge, attitudes as well as skills. Child centered curriculum. This type of curriculum is learner oriented. In the child centered curriculum, the subjects are chosen and taught keeping in view the social, emotional and intellectual needs of children as well as their capabilities and developmental status. Here the children take command of their learning. The teachers provide the support necessary and facilitate the child's learning following their natural curiosities, interests and passion. Education according to a child-centered curriculum requires active involvement of the child in the educative process. Experience-centered curriculum. This type of curriculum gives importance to the experience that the learner gets while participating in the process of learning. In experience-centered curriculum, the experience of the individual is the starting point of learning and not the subject matter or the interest of the learner. Undifferentiated curriculum. An undifferentiated curriculum is that which does not aim at specialized study of various subjects. This type of curriculum has to be followed in the primary and secondary level of education. Development of complete personality is possible only through integrated experiences, and the only means of bringing about this integration is the unification of subjects. An integrated curriculum allows teachers to measure a student's progress at various stages to ensure that she has mastered a subject and is ready for the next step in her education. Let me summarize the session. For every project, it is important to plan the different steps, understand the goals that we need to achieve and to understand different resources that is required. A similar set of constraints when applied to the field of education gives birth to what is known as a curriculum. The word curriculum should be considered as a broad based term used to denote the overall course content of education, that is the totality of experiences a pupil is exposed to within the boundaries of the school and outside. It is the sum total of all learning experiences that are provided under the education institution through its different programs, curricular as well as co-curricular. A curriculum must reflect the needs of the society and those of the individuals to be educated. If education has to meet the needs of modern conditions, necessary changes must be introduced in the curriculum. The emerging objectives, the philosophy of education, culture, learning theories and knowledge warrant change in curriculum. The chapter discusses the aims and objectives of curriculum and its importance. Every curriculum has a purpose, and if it is constructed to serve that purpose, it must be based on strong foundations. Any system of education should be based on philosophical, sociological and psychological foundations. All the three foundations of curriculum together with the different types of curriculum are also explained in the chapter in detail. Now, you can try to answer the questions listed here. Why is curriculum important in an educational process? What are the different aims of a curriculum? Which are the three foundations of curriculum? What is activity centered curriculum? How many types of curriculum exist? Explain. Now, you may go through the reference books for further reading. Modern Trends in Indian Education, written by Mohanty J. and published by Deep and Deep Publications, New Delhi in the year 2004. Problems of Education in India, written by Ram N.S. and Rajendra K.S., published by Atlantic Publishers and Distributors, New Delhi in 2004. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Have a nice day.